When two college roommates bring home a Craigslist futon, they don't realize it's alive and hungry. This couch feeds on laziness, chips, and life itself. Welcome to Couch Time. Okay, so apparently all it takes to win listener's choice is a possessed Craigslist futon and a brewery willing to post about it on Instagram.
Big shout out to Mad Mole Brewing for giving us our first ever THC seltzer and our first movie with an actual furniture villain.
Yeah, the couch is alive. It feeds on laziness, broken dreams, and Cool Ranch Doritos. Geez, I think I dated this couch once. No.
It's like Hereditary if it starred two stoner college kids and a sentient lazy boy couch.
So get comfy, give up on all your ambitions, and let this couch recline your soul.
And don't forget to like and subscribe and maybe warn your roommates because Couch Time is real and it smells like regret and reheated leftovers and spilled kombucha.
Oh, that's not going to come out. As a reminder, if you haven't yet or really want to but have been too afraid, don't. Leave us some feedback. And make sure to come back next week. We're going to recap this, do another Fast Five. But in the meantime, feel free to comment, share things online, DM us, head over to speakpipe.com/beermethatmovie and leave us a voicemail. You can do that. We'll play it on here. Those are fun. And one more thing to call out. At the time of this recording, if you looked on Instagram, it was actually a tie between Overcast Cafe and Couch Time in the poll. But as we mentioned a couple times before, we accept write-ins. And there was a comment on YouTube that said, "Oh, I want Couch Time to happen." So here we are. That was the tiebreaker this week. It's always crazy with these polls, John. What's going to do it or who's going to be the winner? It's been a couple weeks in a row of some wild surprises. So this one was no different. With that being said, enough chit chat. Let's get into this couch time. Let's get lost in the sauce, or at least some throw pillows.
Cozy in the couch?
Yes, cozy in the couch. That sounds like a lame band.
Lights, camera, beers. It's time for our feature presentation.
Okay, so starting with Couch Time, Act 1, we're going to call this Free Couch Energy, which is a play on what the kids are saying.
Yes, right.
I think, right? Like
I think so.
He's giving me something
That's
energy.
right. Got it. Ours is cooler than whatever the kids are saying,
Yeah.
I assure you.
This is because it's the name of an act in a movie idea.
Move idea, right, in small letters, in
Yeah.
parentheses. It is.
So we talked about this in the Fast Five, and that's going to give us a pretty good guideline of how we formulate this movie.
Yeah.
But of course, as you might know by now, Harrison's mind is in two dimensions at the same time.
At least.
Maybe more. So you never really know what's going to happen, but we're going to at least pick up with our original idea that this movie stars two college roommates trying to make their lives better.
Yeah, certainly put a little relaxation into it. And the idea, as fun as it was in the Fast Five, it kind of left us a lot to do with the couch. What the heck is this thing? Is it a monster? Is it an alien? Is it something else? I don't think we didn't conclude that. We just said it's sucking the lives out of these people. The feeds on laziness and chips and whatever else. Let's throw two young men at this thing and maybe some of their friends and see what the heck they can figure out, if they can escape this couch or if they'll just be sleeping until they die, which, I mean, that doesn't sound too bad to me, but I'm not a young whippersnapper anymore. I'd love a great nap that wasn't interrupted by some 5-alarm fire happening. I'll continue to dream, though, and tonight work through this couch time with John.
All those 5-alarm fires end up just being smoke, too.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly
I don't
right.
work in an ER.
Right, exactly.
The 5-alarm fire could probably be stepped on tomorrow.
Exactly right. We can just sweep that to the side And we'll get the mop out in the morning. I'm right there with you. So we have a lot of work we can do. And also, I'm really curious to see what the heck this couch is. And we even figure that out and who these people are and all that stuff. So let's start there. That's always good. We've kind of been doing this for a while now of laying out our heroes or villains. We don't know. The characters.
Most of the
movie.
time, whoever checked the beer in
Right.
gets a really wild ride.
They do. So I if I had to guess, tonight's going to be no different. Let's start with that. Who checked this beer in? Who gave us couch time, John? And we can make them the star.
Yeah, so untapped user named Rodney checked this beer in. I just want to qualify. I know it's a seltzer, but it's called Beer Me That Movie,
Right.
and we're going to call it a beer because it comes in a
Yeah.
beer can. It has bubbles. Fuck off if you don't understand. So
Nope, disclaimer.
Rodney checked the beer in. We're going to put Rodney, when we meet Rodney, he's still living in the dorms.
Yes.
He's probably got a couple roommates with him.
Yeah.
He's a typical college, but it's his senior year, so he's
Exactly.
getting ready to move out, and
Exactly.
and he's going to live off campus. We're doing grown-up stuff.
That's right. It's getting big. It's getting real. It's dipping his toe into the real world a little bit. But I'm going to say, to make things interesting, Rodney and his roommate, who will figure out who that is in a sec, maybe a little apprehensive about senior year, about maybe what comes after senior year. I remember that.
Are we all?
I just purposefully had no plan and kept riding that out. Really went as long as possible.
I've just become the biggest fish in this small pond. I
That's
don't
right.
want to go to the ocean.
That's right. Yeah. And wise words, college folks out there. There's stay as long as you can. Holy cow. So I think that Rodney's hit a little bit with senioritis in one way or another, but moving off campus is a nice distraction from what happens next. And he's excited about it. But again, maybe a little nervous, as is his roommate. So give me a roommate name, John. Give me a college dude. What do you have?
Drew
Great.
is Rodney and Drew are they went to college. They met maybe in their freshman orientation.
Oh yeah.
They were roommates their whole time together in college. Last year they did have to live in a bigger dorm with Larry Cunningham, their third roommate. So it was the first time interacting where it wasn't just the two of them, and it's caused a little bit of tension. Larry Cunningham. They call him the Love Sack.
Oh, I would
Larry Love Sack.
relate a lot to Larry. I spent a lot of time in love sacks in college. Maybe I'll build a little bit of me into Larry tonight. But I like this. So it's Rodney and Drew, roommates moving off campus. Maybe they're neighbor now. So they were roommates with Larry. They're still hanging around. And maybe Larry, all right, let's have fun with Larry. I'm seeing Larry is no younger than 30. Like he's been here for a while. Always in a bathrobe. He's got cool Elvis sunglasses. He's got a pair of goofy, funny slippers for every day of the week. Hasn't had a shirt on since 2017. Like just living life in the slow lane, but kind of making it look cool. And that's a gig that's fun for maybe 5 years. Larry's been pushing the better part of a decade.
I think Larry has found the way to keep that big fish senior energy.
Exactly. Larry's doing it.
He's a drug salesperson.
Of course, right.
And
yeah, if you guess that.
Best customer base is right here on campus.
Right.
They come right to you. So Larry's he's got a 501k. He's got a couple shoe boxes full of extra cash.
Oh yeah.
He's making money. He's living the high life. He's got a PlayStation and an Xbox.
Of course. Maybe they don't both work anymore, but Larry doesn't remember or really care that much. And I'm seeing him as almost like you open up his room and it's dark. There's a lot of black lights. There's a lot of interesting smells covered up by other less great smells.
Febreze.
Right. He's asked many times, can a man just eat leftovers? Like how many times is too many times to microwave something? But he hasn't worried about the answer. He's just done it.
I'm doing an experiment. Have you updated any of it? No,
Right,
man. I just keep trying it.
Right. But there's value to having a Larry around. I forget who it was and who they were talking about. this will get better. But someone once said, if you want to know the quickest way across town, ask a man with one leg. And even though that sounds like the start of a horrible joke that, your uncle tells at Thanksgiving and then someone throws a loaf of bread at his head, there's wisdom there. I think that sentiment is kind of saying, like, that's a person, a one-legged man is going to know the easiest way around town.
There's a really gray and fine line between laziness and efficiency.
Right. Oh, man. I think they're cousins or whatever. Maybe the same. Maybe just is efficiency, laziness in a mask?
With marketing speak?
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm
Right.
efficient.
Exactly. So maybe Larry has some goofy, stoner guy wisdom, and he's also 10 years older than all his classmates at this point, so he maybe just knows a little bit more. So Rodney and Drew like hanging out with him a little bit, and I see Larry making crazy contraptions, and but his whole thing is like the art of lazy, his kind of love sack manifesto that he has. He's always talking about to people. And maybe when Rodney inquires about like, how are you even here? Like Larry's like, well, I found the only loophole that they haven't caught yet. And as long as I have at least one class on my calendar, then, I can stay here as long as I want. And they're like, well, haven't you been here like for 10 years? I haven't seen you leave.
Never left.
I haven't seen you leave. Like, well, you've seen Steve, right? And then like a small kind of 13-year-old looking foreign boy action rolls out of Larry's apartment, in like slacks and a button up and glasses, and jumps on a Segway and zips away.
I am a Larry Cunningham. I pictured Jin Yang from Silicon Valley. Like, it's
Perfect.
Steve, go to class for me.
Exactly. So Steve is like his surrogate who is keeping Larry's dream alive. Which is amazing. And yeah, so again, Larry, crazy lazy, is art and made this his focus, spent maybe more time than anyone on perfecting laziness. Maybe there's something to be admired there. But again, Rodney and Drew are kind of, I imagine the opening kind of passing Larry in the hall, having a quick conversation and being like, well, we're out of here. And maybe Larry's a little shocked of like, you're leaving? You're choosing to leave? Like, I'm expecting to get booted out one day. And until then, just me and the love sack baby. But, we're out of here, Larry. We'll see you around. I'm sure.
Keeps messing up their names.
If we're back. Right, exactly.
Anyways, Bravo and Mike Town. You guys have been great roommates.
Yeah, exactly. I love hanging out with you. I feel like it was just yesterday. We've been knowing each other for 4 years. Right. So Larry's memory's got some holes. But again, heart in the right place. Cool guy. Cool Larry. But Drew and Rodney are moving along and getting the heck out of there. And to like a kind of a dumpy house, but it's off campus. They're pumped.
Freedom,
right?
Like,
right.
You can. Well, I don't know how bad it is living in a dorm, but
it's pretty awesome. But
there's some rules you have to follow, and it doesn't feel like you're an adult,
right?
But you're also a fourth-year college student, so you don't have a lot of money.
No money.
Rodney and Drew, they're not here on their parents' dime. Maybe so much.
Good.
They got some loans.
Oh yeah.
They're kind of making their own way, but
they are.
They have some needs now. Okay, so they got an apartment that they found. To them, it's beautiful. Like, everybody remembers their first apartment and probably can look back on it and say, "There's no way I could go there today."
Oh God!
But at the same point, you're like, "Man, that place was a fucking gem."
Exactly right. It was great.
Front door only locked if you pushed and turned at the same time.
Exactly right. And you had to just pretend to not see the mice scurry into the HVAC unit every time you came back in. Oh, that was probably nothing. Just
It's gonna rain tonight. Make sure the window's open, otherwise it leaks too bad.
Right. Exactly. All kinds of weird. Exactly right. Just tenement houses that hadn't been updated in years. So they got one of those, but they're excited about it. But I'm imagining a fun scene of them walking in, all smiles, to this empty kind of little apartment thing, and we did it. We're here. We got it. And there's panning around and their smiles fade. They're like, we don't have any furniture or beds or anything. What the hell are we going to do, man? And they have kind of this momentary reality. The real world punches them in the face for the first time. And they're like, okay, what do we do? Go to Craigslist, dumpster dive. They're a little bit panicked, but also they don't really care. But
At these apartment buildings, there's always that like community dumpster.
right.
So people are coming and going. So they go out there, probably grab.
There you go. We get
There might be
couple
like a
things,
kitchen
maybe.
table
That's
with some
good.
mismatched chairs.
Yes.
There's some mattresses they're a little lenient
I like
on,
that.
but
Right,
you can't
exactly.
take yours from college. So
Nope. So they'll
all right,
just
I'm
roll
going to take the
dice.
cleaner one, and then we'll switch every week.
Right, the one with less bugs on it. We can wash it off in the shower. Okay.
Can you do that? Yeah.
I'm
Saw
sure.
it on the TikTok. You can wash them up, spray them down. You got to make sure you do it outside.
That's
and then
right,
in
yep.
2 weeks tops, if we get enough sun, we're gonna have these clean, fresh
That's
beds.
right. We'll just have sleep in the fire escape until then. But that'll be fine. We love sleeping outside. So they're making the best of it. They're happy. And I like this. They've kind of hodgepodge together most of their apartment and for free, but they're missing a vital piece, the thing that holds every young person's first apartment together. And I'm not talking about the right and old and a lot of people. God, I slept on a futon a lot too, John. I didn't sleep on many beds in college. A lot of bed-like things.
You didn't have to. You didn't.
Right.
I hurt after sleeping in a proper bed these days. Like a futon, I need a 3-day recovery period.
Exactly right. It was. I just kind of fell asleep wherever I stopped partying. Just kind of laid down.
I was just gonna sleep in the passenger side of the car tonight. There's more room over there.
Yeah. I've been there. But anyway, so they've accomplished almost everything, but they're missing that crucial piece, the couch, the futon, whatever, that central sitting area in front of their TV. They also got for free because everyone's from a store that's giving them away when you buy soup these days. So TVs cost nothing. So they need to go find it, and they haven't maybe had any luck. I like this, diving through dumpsters and looking on curbs. Every futon or couch they find is unusable. So they scrap together. What do you got? I got $5. I got a couple dollars over here. Let's dig under the gross bed we just got. Oh, there's a bunch of money in this mattress. No, not a bunch. It's
I have
just
my cousin's Xbox controller. He's never coming back. We could use this to barter. We have to go to Craigslist.
Perfect.
You could do Facebook Marketplace, but this happened. We'll say this happened 20 years ago.
Perfect.
So
I like it.
They start furniture shopping on Craigslist, which is a yard sale of the world.
Again, I already made my opinion known last week about how risky it is to get stuff off Craigslist, but John's right. They're not thinking like that. It's all about price. You know, sure, it's a $25 futon. The antibiotics you need is a lot more, but I'm not going to talk about that tonight. We'll just let them roll this dice.
Plus, it's like people get like, oh, you're just going to let an Uber stranger pick you up?
Right.
Like when I lived in Buffalo, I remember going to buy a wooden acoustic guitar off of Craigslist, and the guy gave me his address, and I showed up there, and he was wearing an outside holster with a pistol, which wasn't legal in New York. In New York, if you carry a pistol, it has to be concealed. But he's wearing a cowboy holster with a pistol in his apartment, and he's got like 2 rifles up on the wall. And I was like, shit,
I'm dead.
This was my last day.
This is how I go.
No, he played the guitar. He's like, it's tuned well. You can check it out, and then he let me go. But for a minute, like Craigslist was people are weird.
People are weird.
People are weird.
And Craigslist attracts them, much like this couch is going to attract laziness, or so we think. So they scrap together the last couple bucks to get a pizza, and digging through Craigslist and finding, boats and whatever else, people trying to sell empty beer cans and whatever happens on Craigslist. And they find, maybe towards the end, a very nondescript ad. This is a picture of a futon, and it just says, futon, $25 or best offer. One picture, kind of poorly lit, but essentially it's like their only option. They're like, well, it seems like they're right around the corner.
Or best offer. He'll take the he'll take the Xbox
Maybe
controller.
Take the controller. We can barter.
Throw in $10 and maybe a half a joint I have left over.
Exactly. Let's see what happens.
Give him all our roaches. See if he'll take it for all the roaches.
Put him in that water bottle, and we'll head on down and give him a little roach.
These are worth way more than $25. I'm going to keep them. I'll do the Xbox controller.
Never mind. We'll give away the controller. We don't even have
we only
the Xbox.
need 2. Yeah.
Okay.
See if he'll give us some batteries for the other controllers.
Right.
Yeah.
Now they're starting to barter and try to get
Craigslist
more.
is great for this.
You just don't know, right? Like John said, you maybe could have bought a gun that night if you had enough money with that guy that gave you the guitar. Little bonus. All right, so they go and where should they pick this thing up? I'm imagining almost like they're assuming it's a house or an apartment, and they, go to the address, and it's like an abandoned something, a church, a hospital, a food hall, a creepy ass place.
I thought like a shipping
okay.
those storage things, because that's where a lot of people hold their dusty old things. But I like where you're going. I think there's like there used to be a brewery near the college,
Okay.
and it shut down, and that's the address he gives, and he's like, just meet me out behind the building. So they go out behind the building, and there's like an old canvas army tent out there where
Got
this
it.
guy has like a surplus store. There's like
Okay.
file cabinet, there's the futon, there's some old pieces of quote art that are hanging up, which are just like blacklight drawings of ladies.
Got it.
And anyway, so they come around to the brewery because they know enough like not to go to a super shady place.
Okay.
Like this is like a bit like, leave the car running just in case.
Just in case.
We didn't even talk about the car. Maybe they have to rent a U-Haul. We're just going to movie magic this.
Right.
They can get the futon, but maybe they have to take some of it apart. They can get it home. They can get it home.
Let's not be worried about that. And I'm even almost imagining like some early hints that this couch is more than just a couch, where they go to the tent and maybe nobody's there. It's the couch, these posters, and they're walk. Hey, hello, do we put the money down, or what do we do? And they're calling around to see if someone's there, looking around as they see the couch, and they're like, all right, let's look around. Maybe it's inside the building. And then they come back, and like the couch is in the back of their car, and they're like, oh, I guess we must have missed him. Hey man, we'll leave the money on
a fruit stand on the side of the road.
Exactly
There's
right.
like a jar.
With the jar.
To-
They're like, okay.
They think about taking the money,
right?
but I'll just leave the Xbox controller next to this.
I'm
Counts
sure-
for 10.
Right, guy. Wherever you are. Anyway, thanks.
We have 15 in real cash. There's two student meal tickets. You
There
can
we
use them
go.
to get a meal if you
This
want,
is a
plus
good
the Xbox controller.
Most of the buttons still work. Exactly. And there's some gum in one. You can get it out. Anyway, thanks, guy. And they just see it as a win. Don't ask many questions, and just get into the car and drive away with their new couch. And so I think at this point, it's probably fun or important to introduce the third roommate that we haven't brought up yet, who's probably like Rodney and Drew's rock. I'm imagining someone who's a little bit different than them. Rodney and Drew are like freewheeling and stuff. Maybe like as part of moving off campus, now they got to pay their own way. Yeah, clearly Rodney and Drew don't have a lot of money, but their one friend maybe can help foot the bill a bit, or get them on the straight and narrow. But they also want to get off campus, so they're willing to trade. Like, all right, you found the place, I'll put up some money to get us in there, but you guys got to find a job, and you got
Love it.
Something like that.
I'm coming with you. I'm getting the hell off of this campus too. It's a
perfect.
female.
Yes, good.
She's a serious student, but she's driven by her parents, and they won't let her move out. They won't help her move out.
Got it.
And she's pre-med. She's like serious about
school
and her future and her career, but she wants to get the hell off campus. So she hears Rodney and Drew talking about it, and she's like, one condition, or I'm I don't know, I'm gonna poison you. One condition, I'm coming with you. You need my help.
Yeah.
Because she's pre-med, so she's poor as hell. But
right.
She has an income. She's
works at
serious.
Hooters, right, or whatever. She has a job. Right, a serious student, dream of being, let's say, like a physical therapist or a dietitian or something. So she's, again, really cares about a lot of the stuff that Rodney and Drew, who when they're not out buying Craigslist on futons or futons on Craigslist, are usually sitting on one, right, eating chips, again, playing Xbox if they currently have an Xbox.
We meet this third roommate. We'll give her a name.
Okay. Yes.
Natalie.
Perfect.
Natalie. She's
Like
a serious name.
It's a serious name.
They come back and they check out the apartment, and they see that Natalie is like changed it up. She's like, what is all this garbage that came with the apartment? I took it to Habitat for Humanity. I traded it out for like some reasonable furniture.
Good. Perfect.
They didn't have any couches, but I'm going to go back. And then like, wait. we found the couch.
We
You've done
did
great,
it.
Natalie. You've done
Right.
great. This looks really good.
Yep.
But wait till you see what we
Wait
got.
till you see what we did.
Bought it
Right.
ourselves.
She's like, God, I hope it was better than that one chair that was just mold that you guys got that I had to throw away in a hazmat suit. And they, like bring it up the stairs, and maybe it looks, I don't know, should it be like pretty clean and pretty nice looking to start? Like kind of
I think it looks like
appetizing, or,
IKEA nice.
Yeah, right. Okay, good. So maybe she's a little shocked in a good way of like, holy cow, where'd you guys get this? What'd you pay? And maybe Rodney and Drew are short on the details. You know us, we're just
haggling
things.
We're just
We just come
haggled
out of
them
another
down to a good
dumpster.
price.
No. This is not a dumpster.
Smell it.
Right,
Please be good,
exactly.
Please be good. Please be good.
Right. And she
Spray
does.
the couch down with her
Right,
cologne.
right.
It smells like Dracar Noir and CK1. I know.
Right. It smells like your dirty laundry. Yeah, So they have the couch, pull it in, set it up, and things are fine. And I think that night number one, they're eating pizza, hanging out, and Rodney and Drew fit right in on that couch. And maybe Natalie, says no to the pizza, grabs some hummus, and is like, well, I'm going to the gym. I'll, see you guys later. Don't stay up too late. We got class tomorrow. Ha ha ha. And leaves. And I wonder if it's almost like a time lapse montage as the audience of like watching Rodney and Drew sit there and just like eating pizza, and then they're having some chips, and then they're having some popcorn, and they're
Kind of like the
sinking.
first time you ever got stoned.
Right.
where you're
Right.
like,
There we go. They're
I've
probably
riddled
doing
through
that
it.
too.
Now I'm making tuna for the first time. I've eaten all the tuna. Now we're doing bread and chocolate powder sandwiches.
Exactly right.
Wish we had a
This
banana
is
to mix
great.
in here. That'd be like
Right.
super good.
I'm drinking 2 whole liters of Sprite because I need to do it. Or my mouth will turn to dust. Yeah, exactly right. So they're having a fun night of watching horrible television.
No rules.
And just exactly embracing that first night in the apartment. They're free from the noise ordinance in the dorm, and we can stay up as late as they want. Don't have to worry about Larry butting in the middle of the night asking to borrow some cream for something mysterious or whatever. They're free. They're out there doing it. They had a great day of dumpster diving and finding this couch. It's a victory.
Made a castle for themselves.
They did.
And the Wi-Fi next door is unsecured, so they've got
Even better.
free Wi-Fi, which is really nice to
That's
have.
a gold mine.
And there's a brand new reality show that just released that they're gonna binge. Harrison.
Yeah, the Real Housewives of Boise, Idaho, because they've every other city's done. I can't believe how many stupid Real Housewives are there. And this one's a winner. It's all about, well, her chicken coop's about twice as big as mine, and she brags about it all day. But I'm gonna show her my fist twice as high as her asshole. She bring up again, and just people.
Damn cousin Marier.
Put my foot in her face. Yeah, so that's just horrible, the detritus of society playing out on Bravo here in the burgeoning metropolis of Boise, Idaho this time. And they're just sucked into the drama and the feuds like one would be from a Bravo show. And yeah, like this. And I think like they're watching that. It's almost like the time-lapse thing happens. Natalie comes home. Okay, I'm going to bed, guys. Don't even notice her. She goes to sleep. She wakes up. And they're still sitting there on the couch, right?
Still Boisean.
Still watching a binge.
There's like 18 seasons that just dropped. Boise, Idaho is taking the world by storm. You thought Atlanta, you thought New York.
Forget it.
Boise, Idaho's got the drama.
Oh
And these
my
guys are
God.
in. They're like there's inside jokes. They're like,
Exactly
she
right.
bought her purse at a TJ Maxx, right?
Who does that?
You gotta go to Walmart and get the stuff firsthand.
That's right, firsthand. Not with last year's purses, right, Nat? And she's like, oh my God, guys, we're going to be late for our first class. And they're just giggling, laughing. And she's like, all right, I'll see you guys later. What a first night, huh? And she leaves. And Rodney and Drew don't. And so, right, a lot of this kind of, which we're probably coming to the end of the first act here, is going to be them just getting lost in this couch. And like we talked about in the Fast Five, they're having chips, tuna sandwiches, chocolate powder sandwiches, binge watching all the Fast Fives or all the Fast and Furious.
For sure. There's a lot of those.
Yeah.
So you got streaming TV.
Exactly.
I mean, you start with Severance, or maybe you get into The Pit, and then you're down to like, oh, did you know that one guy made a show and paid for it all by himself?
Show
And
me, show
Netflix
me.
picked it up. Let's watch that
Right.
next. But I think like we're cluing you in because you're listening to us make this. But I would hope as you're watching the movie, it feels more like Rodney and Drew are just like really excited that they've got a place to themselves.
Right.
You know, yeah, they've become a little lax, but they've
the
also
first
got the
night.
world by the balls
Right.
here.
That's right. And it's the first night, and maybe they can be forgiven for overindulging. But also, I think some more kind of little hints should be happening of like, you know, again, something else supernatural is going on where maybe Rodney is like, I'm gonna get up and get us some more cheese dip. And they looks down at the table and there's the cheese dips right there. Oh, I must have, did you get the cheese dip? Whatever. Pass me the Ritz.
Shut up. They're revealing the new chicken coop.
Oh, right, exactly right. Two levels. Oh my God, I didn't know they made
This one has roosters inside as wardens.
Oh, little shirts. Look at that. How do you put a shirt on a chicken? Pass me that cheese dip. And so, like, yeah, they haven't gone up to pee or poop. They're eating a lot. Like, something's going on here. And this couch is, maybe we could even, in the movie, like, have it be, like, purring or making a noise, or it looks like it's smiling or something with the way the seams fit.
A good cinematographer.
Right, exactly.
Like you start in close on the boys cheese dipping.
Right.
And then you get more and more zoomed out to where you see the couch cushions as they settle in the middle, just kind of crick up, which looks sort of like a smile. I love that.
Exactly. And they're in a daze almost, and that becomes clear to the audience too. And I think maybe they have a few moments of kind of clarity of like, man, I can't believe we got this couch for almost nothing. Like, this is the most comfortable thing I've ever sat in my life. Who needs beds? Who needs chairs? Who needs anything else? And they're kind of in a agreement of that. And I guess something's got to happen to get them off the couch. And maybe it's as simple as like the buzzer goes off because Natalie like forgot her keys, and it's that loud kind of buzzer thing that snaps them out of this daze enough to actually stand up. And it's harder to do than they thought. And they maybe laugh it off of like, well, we did sit for, well, is it really tomorrow at noon?
Yeah.
Have we been on this couch for 20 hours? Like, oh my God, dude. And again, that was awesome. They're still positive. They haven't caught on to anything going on right now with the couch. And maybe as they stand up to go to the door, like all of a sudden they get hit in the back of the leg and they fall back down and sit in the couch. And they're like, what the heck was that? Did you move the couch?
This reclines?
Right. And then the couch reclines. They're like,
They just text Natalie,
God.
what's up? Is that you?
Right, exactly. Do you need help?
Can you let me in, you fucking assholes?
Right. And they eventually have to get up and do it. And as they move away from the couch, right, we focus on the couch, and it maybe, again, it can't do much. It's a couch, but it's some ominous music.
Just a couch.
Right. Is it just a couch? But it clearly wants the people back, wants Drew and Rodney back. And maybe that's a good place to end that first act of them getting up and kind of shaking their head and being dazed and be like, oh my God, I have to pee so bad. My teeth are floating. Like, and they fight each other to the bathroom. And Natalie's still, guys, get me in.
We got to cross streams for speed.
You can't see this yet. It's only the second day of us
That's a
living here.
great fade to act 2 is just 2 streams of pee going into a toilet.
Exactly right. As they're dusting off just cheese crumbs into the bowl as well together and laughing at noon on a Tuesday. College.
Things are heating up. Welcome to Act 2.
So we're in. So now at this point, the audience has, right, we're trying to make it a little bit clear that this couch something's going on, weird relationship with this couch at the minimum. But Rodney, Drew, Natalie, not clued in at all to any of this. But we begin to see this as things kind of start happening. And again, like
a manipulative significant other partner. I almost said girlfriend, but oh yeah, I'll get you the stuff. That way you don't have to go out, and you can do push-ups, and I'll watch and cheer you on, so you don't have to go to the gym.
Right.
And like what can I do? Very supportive, very, very
That's
supportive.
what it seems like. Yeah, exactly.
The couch. By now, you have to start to understand that the couch is. We haven't painted it as sentient, but there's like a hungry, manipulative energy.
Right.
From the couch. It sort of like feeds on these boys' initiative.
Exactly right. And And I'm seeing that in ways of like they, every time they sit back down, they like immediately start giggling, almost like they're high immediately. And maybe they are. Maybe this couch is releasing some magical THC dust in their
Whoever
faces.
used to have this couch put all the roaches in the cushions.
Every time we sit down, we get
reach
blasted.
down and I find another one.
Full roaches.
Couch roach.
Right. Another one. Did you leave that one? Nah.
Every time a chicken clucks, we got to light one up.
That's right. Every time someone says coop. Every time someone has a flannel shirt on, we're going to have no brains by tomorrow. So
But
yes.
I think there's a way in the movie that we can show, maybe not over the top, but show some of the things that are happening to make these guys comfortable enough where they don't feel like they have to leave.
Yep. And I think, and maybe it starts out as like kind of like things you could brush away as coincidence, like, Rodney and Drew were like, I'm getting hungry, man, and we're definitely out of food in the apartment. And it's just bags of chips and Oreos and empty dip things around. They're eating 5,000 calories a day easily. Frozen pizza crust litter the floor.
Constant feeding.
Constant. As they just sit and watch Bravo. Golly. So, but they're like, oh, I'm kind of hungry. And then Natalie walks in with like a DoorDash bag. And she's like, what did you guys order? This looks like this is a whole Boston Market Thanksgiving dinner. Like,
what? Man. Now I want the couch.
There's 5 mac and cheeses in here. It's only 3 of us. They're like, oh my God, Drew, did you order? Nah, did you? Natalie, you didn't have to do that. I didn't. Well, bring it on over to the couch. Let's check it out. So like magical meals are showing up. Maybe even some like the dining room table that was already a little shoddy. Even the one that Natalie replaced it with, like maybe that breaks. So they're like, oh, we can't have Boston Market there. Let's sit at the couch. Weird how the table broke, but it was secondhand. So more couch meals and their goofy water beds that maybe they were. I mean, or their beds, maybe their water beds, maybe they were just disgusting and they never dried out and being cleaned in the shower, which is not surprising.
We were gonna go to bed, I swear, but we're still waiting for the mattresses that we cleaned to dry.
And we put them outside. It's been raining for 3 days, so I guess we're sleeping on the couch. It wasn't any rain in the forecast, but back on the couch. Something that'll never happen, like their gym memberships expire.
Sure.
right now. And so they no reason to go to the gym because they can't, and the gym calls them to let them know, which that never happens.
You guys aren't welcome back here anymore.
Very confused gym owner. You can't see you. There are right now 12 million people who are dead who are paying for Gold's Gym every month. These things, they don't get canceled.
There's no canceling a gym membership.
There's no way to do it. But somehow it happened to them.
That's weird. I was just thinking about going to the gym.
I guess not. Pass me some leftover Boston Market.
New reality TV show. Like, the dangers of spending too much time at the gym. Boise, Idaho edition.
Exactly. And maybe like every time one of these things happen that sends them back to the couch, like the couch almost looks like it's getting bigger, or the Drew and Rodney comment that it's getting like warmer or even more comfortable or something. So like this couch it's almost like it's getting stronger from the more time they spend on it, and it's getting excited or happy these things are happening.
Nothing's so so over the top. They'd be like, the couch is killing us.
Sure.
But I like a lot of like small little, like, oh yeah, actually our teacher emailed us and all of the rest of the semester is going to be work from home college edition.
Yeah. Take home tests or whatever.
We get the test emailed to us with the whatever the note. I spent a long time since I was in college. The syllabus, the syllabus and all the everything's online. So I've been doing my college while I've been watching TV, and the DoorDash keeps showing up.
Right,
someone's got their address wrong, but they just drop it
lived
off.
Here last, we ate a lot of Boston Market.
I literally can't do anything about it. I called DoorDash and they said, if they drop the food off, there's you might as well just eat it or donate it.
Not a mistake. It's been paid for. The address is correct. Right. So all this stuff keeps lining up, and it's amazing for Rodney and Drew. But Natalie, again, motivated, going to the gym, going to school. Maybe she's I'm sure happy they're like doing their work now at home. But she's like, guys, you've been on that couch like all the time for like 5 or 6 days. And they're like, what? Isn't it? Didn't we move in yesterday? It's been a week. What are you guys talking about? So they're starting to lose time, maybe a little bit.
I'm trying to think of like what would keep me locked into a couch. Now I'm twice the age of these guys.
Right.
So, it could be something like I breathed too fast and now I'm stuck. But like Harrison, if you had 5 days off and no obligations, what sort of things would keep you glued to your couch?
That was my goal every day in college, was to get to the love sack as soon as possible, put on Total Recall, and just disappear into the ether. I watched that movie about 9 times before I understood it, because I might not have been watching it
3 boobs
soberly. Right,
that's all I understand about Total Recall.
Right, so just get in a. I would puff the love sack up, John, and then jump in it, because I was in the love sack. Have someone throw a blanket over me, and then the television would be on, and it would be hard pressed to leave there. I definitely fought a lot of battles against my bladder, telling it we don't really need to pee. If we get up, it's a whole thing. Reabsorb. Use it. Find a way to use it. Send it out as sweat.
Astronauts do this all the time. I'm training.
Yeah, so that was my goal, whether it was playing Call of Duty or watching some silly movie or just sitting in the love sack because it was amazing. Yeah, I lived this life. I get it. This is hitting close to home for me as a college kid. So I was always looking for an excuse. And a lot of the times people would come back who I lived with. I'm like, we bought 10 cheeseburgers at the dining hall and we only ate 5. Do you want 5 cheeseburgers, Harrison?
Throw them in the sack.
Yes, I do. They'll just smash them together into one huge cheeseburger.
It's less work.
Oh man, yeah, it happened all the time. It was amazing, John.
Yeah, I would like to have some fun if this ever becomes a real movie with some of the things that keep him on the couch. But I think it's that simple. You nailed it. Like most of my longtime couch has been propagated by a video game, Call of Duty, Baldur's Gate, any game I can just kind of get into.
That's true too. The game's a long story. It's like, well, I have to beat The Witcher 3 now, so I'll be here for 5 days.
Yep. And I'm just like the couch and its infinite magic can do things like this too. Like, oh, the Xbox just turned on.
Right.
Oh my God, they updated Baldur's Gate to where we can split screen play together now. You want to start a new campaign? It's only 93 hours.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so it's easy to get lost on the couch, but that's good. We will have fun with it and kind of keep bringing that up. But again, Natalie's kind of the representing reality or normalcy, I guess, if you will, in this movie, where she's always checking in and kind of in horror of what she's seeing a little bit.
Is this what it's like to live with 2 dudes?
But also, that's probably also going through her head. And she's focused on her studies. She's like, if they're going to throw their lives away, like, I got too much, that I'm worried about to say and do much more right now than guys, as long as you putting your work in, I guess, if you're all remote for some reason and I'm not, I won't ask questions about that. Just please don't get kicked out of college. But again, it's not her fight to have, and really she's barely home.
True. She got her apartment. She's working hard.
Right.
She got to move off campus.
Right. So she's not too worried about it.
But I think there's got to be a Natalie couch incident somewhere here in the second act.
Yeah.
She might be the one that realizes something.
Oh, for sure. I think she is going to be. I mean, we'll see. But her role here is going to be really important, and it probably can start with something like a dream, or like she's comes back from the gym, goes to sleep, tossing and turning, and kind of like wakes up on the couch, and then like tries to get up, but like she pushes her hand into the cushion and it sinks deeper into the cushion.
Nice. That couch is amazing.
Exactly right. Tries to grab the armrest and keeps getting pulled deeper and reclines her back. But she's like getting sucked in to the couch cushion. She's fighting. She's screaming. She's trying to get out of here, and maybe like is able to roll herself away, and then like blacks out into darkness, or maybe wakes up from what maybe is a dream, maybe isn't. Like not in her bed, but also not on the couch. Maybe like asleep in the hallway or something crazy like that. And she gets up and she's like, oh my God, what happened, and Rodney and Drew are like, you're working too much, Nat. Like you need to embrace. You need to sit on the couch
You
for a
need
bit.
some couch time.
Right. You're sleeping in the hallway. You're staying in the library too long, working out too hard. Like it's unhealthy what you're doing, Nat. We're here to help you and to tell you that. I know you can't see it because you're so far into working as hard as you are, but from where we're sitting all day, we're real worried about you. He's like, what's that? I'm worried about you. You should But so that stresses her out, obviously.
And as she does that, I'm worried about you, she lifts her arm and points out. And Rodney's like, whoa, did you get a tattoo?
Ooh, okay.
And everyone stops arguing in the hallway.
Of course.
Natalie looks down, camera zooms in. We see she's got looks like a rune, or it vaguely resembles a Z, like the letter Z.
Okay.
Sort of, maybe not tattooed, but like almost like branded into her arm. And she's like, did I like lean on my backpack or something? But like this Z embroidered in Natalie's arm, this gives her a reason to to look for help, guidance.
Yeah, I think, right. I like that. So yeah, that would obviously startle anyone to wake up with some weird brand on you. Paired that with a dream. And I think maybe even like in her head right now, she's like, maybe Drew and Rodney are right. Am I overworked? Am I having a manic episode? Like, am I losing it right now, trying to be pre-med, and we just moved off campus and I'm on my own and all I do is work, and am I sleepwalking? Am I having nightmares? Weird marks are showing up. Am I like, did I take too much Ambien and end up at a tattoo parlor last night? Like what's going on? So, and I think for Natalie, maybe like instead of going to like a best friend or a therapist, maybe she's always like gone to church, and so that's her safe place, and so she goes to the local church to confide in a priest there that she's met with before from time to time when things get hairy. Talked about her family with him. We got to give this priest a name, but that's what I'm kind of seeing is happening next. Is she's looking for guidance after this weird dream sleepwalk episode thing, and now the mark on her arm. She just needs to talk to someone other than Drew and Rodney, who will only quote Real Housewives of Boise, Idaho at her, and then ask if today's magic Boston market has showed up yet.
Time to shovel the coop, baby. In this house, we don't do effort.
Right. And it is also slightly hilarious that they're watching a show about chickens and chicken coops while eating Boston market every night. A whole chicken to
full
their
circle.
faces. That's right. One day.
Thank God these people exist. I hope I get that one.
One day the chicken could be in your Boston market.
Nice looking chicken right there.
Ooh, right.
So I think part of what you get when you're born into this world is like you get one thing that's going to probably kill you. You get eye color, you get hair color, you get curly or straight. But you also get not necessarily born into, this is like a learned trait, but you get your like guidance, your mentor, your advice person. Like for some that might be higher educated folks, for some that's going to be religion, for some it's going to be therapy, for some friends. Natalie was just born into a family that kind of instilled on her, when you feel lost and you need help, you go look for a priest or something. And she goes to her local church building.
Yep.
And she finds Father Abernail.
Perfect.
Good old Father Abernail. Baptized 27,000 kids in his life.
Wow.
That's his one. He's like, I remember most of the disciple names, and I've baptized 27,000 kids.
Throwing a lot of water on a lot of babies, as they say in the biz.
They call me the super soaker.
Frank the super soaker.
They frown on me using one.
Right, I'm not allowed to.
I did have to talk to a bishop about that for a little bit.
Blasted this kid once. Should have been there. Anyway, sorry. Natalie, you look troubled.
I always let the uncle pump it.
Strong forearms, those uncles. Okay, so right. So Father Abernail, maybe a bit of a character. That's fun. Not a stick in the mud. That's a nice way to mix it up there. And yeah, so Natalie's clearly distraught, so the super soaker jokes go away for a little bit, and they have a conversation about everything we just talked about. Natalie's worried about work or the future and college, and oh my God, I woke up in the hallway last night, and maybe at first kind of Father Abernail just kind of smiles knowingly and is like, We've all been there. You're just overworking yourself. It's, you know, just take a week off if you can. Take a long
Your
weekend.
body is a temple.
Right. Right. You can't run it on empty all the time. You gotta recharge, not just here in the church, but you should have some food besides Boston Market. You know, you should hydrate.
At least take some of these wafers. They're
Right, exactly.
They're high in the body of Christ and low in carbohydrates.
That's right. It was a lot of calories. They're not empty calories. They're the best calories you can get. And maybe she feels a little bit better, but also I'm going to say she hasn't revealed anything about the mark on her arm. Maybe she's been hiding like it the whole time too. That might be a bridge too far for her right now to even process and understand what it was as she's talking with Father Abernell. But she's starting to feel a little bit better, lets her guard down, and maybe as she kind of stands up to leave, a similar thing happens that happened in the apartment where she just kind of stands up and goes to shake his hand or give him a hug or whatever, and Father Abernell sees the Z mark on her arm and like grabs her arm and is like, "My God, how long have you had this? My child, not my God, right? My child, my God,
our God, my child."
And exactly, it's got to be your bowl. You know, okay, so grabs her arm. Oh, our God. And then, and like immediately recognizes perhaps what this thing is, and says, "Natalie, tell me more about the dream. What happened?" And she, the couch. It took me. It was, I think, and if I'm remembering now, there was a deep, dark laughing that happened as well. Something that it just felt wrong. It felt like the couch was trying to eat me. I know that sounds crazy, Father. And he's like, "Say no more."
You say it was a couch?
Yes, it was a couch futon type thing, a combo, a recliner futon couch.
Oh, a reclining couch, you say?
Yes.
This is interesting to the Zupazoka.
And I love it. And Father Abernell grabs her good arm that's not just been branded, and they rush to like the basement of this church. And this is one of those fun scenes that are in all the Indiana Jones movies and stuff, and tons of other movies where we get a little bit of exposition, a little bit of a reveal, some fun research things are happening to kind of catch Natalie up to speed. And we as the audience get to learn a little bit more about what the heck this couch thing is in their apartment. And let's see, how about something like this, John? So they go to the basement of the church, candle lit, it's dark, it smells like old books and cedar wood and frankincense, whatever that smells like. Church. And then Father Abernell like kind of goes to a back bookshelf, shuffling around. This is yes. Yes. If he's from Lagerstadt, which is fine.
Of course he is.
Got it. And so, and frantically flips through the pages and opens up this book, which is titled the Vatican Book of Exorcisms or something like that, to a page that says, how about this? Here we go. I've got it. So it's a page that says like an image of like a priest kind of with like a cross doing what looks like an exorcism. And the title of that page says Zalyab, the devourer of ambition.
They go through this in the movie. Zalab? Zalyab?
It's a hard L and a soft Y and a long O.
It is not of your language, it is of my language. Zalab. So Zalab? Is that what we're looking at? Zalabi?
Just read. Right, exactly. And so they look through this book, and it shows kind of a history of basically like exorcisms and events around like furniture, and maybe the specific Zalyab, which is a demon, has been tracked for centuries, kind of jumping out of rugs and what.
Ooh, I like the tie-in to The Hustle is weird.
One of our favorites. Go listen if you haven't. Oh my gosh.
I love the tie-in there.
That's good.
Yeah, so Zalab, canonically Zalab, but often mispronounced.
Sure.
Is the demon who devours ambition.
Ooh, yeah.
And in Latin, it sounds much scarier, so I won't say it on this
We
podcast.
can't.
But
we can't. We'll summon him.
but yeah, there's some sketches and some ancient-looking drawings on up through modern times where you see these priests praying over pieces of furniture.
Yes.
And Father Abernale says, the devourer of ambition was initially battled by 6 priests, and he was banished into a humble ottoman.
Right.
There he was stayed for what we believe to be the rest of eternity. However, the Z in Zelab is part of the way we know he is with you now. Perhaps with you in the form of this couch which you have just brought into your home.
Right, exactly. Is Zelab back? For years we have fought to prevent the world from seeing Zelab again. How could he have found his way back here? Right, so he's a little worried. There's a lot of ominousness to this conversation. But now it's like, oh my God, so you're saying this our couch is a what? Is a demon? And then he like flips another page and there's absolutely like an exorcism happening of a lazy boy in this book, like, maybe a decade ago. Like, yes, believe it or not, furniture can hold demons as well.
Powerful.
We learned this long ago. And then he trails off a little bit, almost as if he had a thought he wasn't able to share, but then refocuses and it's like, you look here at this, I'll see what else I can find. And then Natalie kind of dives into the book and again is reading, research. There's a fun montage, and maybe Father Abernale goes upstairs for a minute to, I'll grab us some water, and it's Natalie alone in the basement. And then we can have freaky things,
candles, willow,
exactly
in the wind that doesn't exist.
Exactly, stuff like that. And she could even hear like a whisper of something as she's like flipping through this book as the candles flicker of a warning or a message.
Maybe the candles all go out for a moment. Pitch dark. And what does she hear? Because I interrupted you to set the scene, but I don't know what she hears.
I got too scared from the darkness, John. Yeah, something, it only wakes when you're ready to waste.
Poof, and the candles light back up. Natalie's freaked. She was raised religious.
Yeah.
The thought of a demon and an exorcism, and now she's branded.
She's
going 1,000 miles an hour.
Oh my God, that's a great point.
And I think because she knows now that the demon is released, and she's
living with it, possibly,
seen this happen. The candles go out. She is gonna be going as fast as a one-legged man can travel to get back to the apartment. Just bolting out of the church into her car, and Father Abernale stops her.
Okay.
Before you go, my child.
Yes.
I have for you a tool we can use to put the demon in its place.
Okay. Good. Do we have what do you
He has a DeWalt impact driver in his hand.
Oh, not that. This is so maybe it could be the this tincture, we call it a T-bomb. You can see it here, and he flips to the book that Natalie has, and there's a picture of one of the priests at the lazy boy exorcism with like swinging this kind of smoking ball and chain. It's something that feeds on those who wish to sit and waste away their lives. It needed to be full of tea, of something with caffeine, botanicals, to energize the spirits and the faculties or whatever.
and frankincense, of course.
Well, of course, we ought to always put frankincense in. We've had a lot of frankincense in the church.
A little bit
of myrrh. And gives it to her. Gives her this kind of T-bomb, we'll call it. It's kind of metal little ball that's got a bunch of leaves and stuff in it. And good, Natalie, be careful. I'll see what I can do, but I can't do an exorcism without the church's approval. I'll see if I can get it as fast as I can, but for now, your friends, they're in danger. Rodney and Drew, you must get them out. He was from Lagerstadt.
Meanwhile, quick montage of the boys back in the couch while this is happening. Like, look at this. All I have to do is say, like, I'm a little warm, and poof, the AC kicks on.
Yes.
The boys are living their best life ever.
Exactly. They're like, don't you have to say, Alexa, turn on the thermostat? I'll just say I'm warm, and it doesn't.
Kind of uncomfortable. I might get up. Somebody dropped off a whole 2 cases of Dorito chips. They thought we were the local Harris Teeter.
Pallets of chips are being dropped off.
Great. Boys are living their best life ever.
Yes, they really are.
Natalie's back in her college responsible car, Honda Accord maybe.
Of course.
Like it's a little beat, but it works.
Yeah.
And she's like peeling out of the church parking lot, trying to get
100%.
back and save the boys who are having their best life ever.
Exactly.
And that's a great place for us to end Act 2 and get ready for
Act 3. And I think it's part of that montage where we jump out of it. I wonder if it's also now evident to the audience, even though they're eating, their weight in Boston Market every night, like they don't look too good. They're a little paler, maybe like, rings around their eyes, maybe starting to cough a bit. And like, as that's happening, again, the audience got to see the couch like vibrate or grow or shake a little bit to represent it's excited or something like that. We'll figure out how to make a couch excited. But it's clear now that like they're here to be consumed in some way by this demon inside this couch that Natalie has to stop. We're starting to see that they're kind of, again, it's like a siren song or a moth to a flame. Like
even like when you see them get up, like sometimes
right.
If you have leather in your car, your skin will get stuck to it a little bit. So like you see them try and get up and the couch moves with their leg a little bit. Like
to try to keep them.
Maybe it's just sticky from the spilled cheese dip.
Exactly. Or maybe it's just trying to pull them back a little bit longer. And they stand up and fall back into the couch a lot and just laugh about it. But now we know there's something more. So this is all happening as Natalie's like racing back in her Honda Accord to hopefully save Rodney and Drew from what will be their possible demise in Act 3, which we'll find out what happens there.
Throw pillow showdown.
Let's see where this is all going. We begin the third act.
Okay, so we'll open up Act 3 with Natalie bursting through the door.
I think so.
Holding a church
ready.
bomb. And she's got a Starbucks in her hand. Maybe she even picked up like some dehydrated vegetable chips.
Cool.
She's like, we're turning the tide on this.
Right.
Laziness ends now.
I love it. Perfect. Right. And like, but she's, greeted by Rodney's like asleep on the couch. Rick and Morty's playing. Drew's covered in his own drool. Like, it's a problem. And I also wonder, I'd imagine probably the couch, the demon may know, like, it's only going to have so much time before people figure it out. Like, so it's starting to ramp things up and try to consume these two dudes. And maybe even like one of them is like halfway in the couch. Drew's like, now he gets there just in time as Drew's almost like melting into the couch itself. And so she, takes her cold brew coffee and dumps it on the T-bomb and lights it on fire and starts spinning it around, lighting like basically a caffeine smoke bomb off.
Nice.
Into this apartment. And she's not taking any prisoners. And so, yeah, that's how Act 3 gets kicked off. Natalie.
They don't have inhalable caffeine.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, patent pending.
Do they? Yeah.
I don't know. They can smoke anything, folks. But don't take our word for it. Don't try. That's not advice.
If you do, let us know what happens.
Right.
One of us is really interested.
We can find you investors. But no, we can't. So right, and perhaps like an added benefit of the caffeine air is it's enough to pull. So I think immediately maybe the couch for the first time lets like an audible kind of unholy scream as the smoke hits the air. Right,
from the recliner
sure could be. There we go.
equipment.
Right. Yeah, it's all kind of masked by the couchness. But the caffeine smoke is enough to kind of wake up Rodney and Drew too, and they kind of shake too a little bit. And oh my God, what's happening? Again, they're in a weakened state, but Rodney's trying to pull Drew out of the couch. And Natalie, what's going on? What happened? Why are there so many empty Boston Market chicken containers on the ground? What's been happening? This whole place smells like chicken bones and throw up. And pee. Who peed my pants? Right, exactly. I think you did, Rod. I think you did. And she kind of grabs him and helps Drew get up as the couch is kind of creaking and maybe shaking and stuff now. And they're starting to see like, oh my gosh, what the heck happened?
This is great Hollywood. A
Right.
battle with a couch.
With a smoking couch being hit by a caffeine grenade. And
I think the couch has gotten too strong.
well, right,
Like,
exactly.
The couch gets caffeine poured on it, which is the antithesis of this couch.
Right.
And it burps, and the caffeine grenade just flies backward and pops Natalie in the head.
Yes.
Right as she's like kind of able to get the boys free from their I am become couch situation. And as this sort of cacophony plays out, you see through the window behind the couch, you see our good friend foreign kid Steve.
That's right.
On his Segway zipping by, and he looks like maybe he was coming by to check, and like Natalie just got blasted in the face. The boy, and he just looks in, sees what's happening, and zips right by on his Segway.
Right.
So now we're left to think like the priest has failed us. The couch bomb didn't work. Foreign kid Steve was too afraid to come help. And now we've got no outside help, and we don't really know what we're dealing with.
Rodney and Drew are exhausted and dazed, but kind of coming out of it. We really can't help Natalie much, too. And that was what she thought, ace in the hole, the T-bomb. And it worked for a second, but as you said, like it's not the solution. And so I'm kind of imagining them like hiding in the back room now trapped in this apartment with this demon couch, trying to figure out like what the hell to do. And you know, Rodney trying to wake up Natalie. The Vatican Book of Exorcisms is, of course, on the floor. She managed to grab that as she got dragged into the room, and she kind of wakes up, in a daze, maybe quickly kind of tells the kids what's happening. That's no couch. That's a demon. What? Look. And she flips it open to, again, the lazy boy exorcism to kind of show them like, I'm not crazy. This has happened with other furniture items in the past.
Again, we have a situation where everybody messes up the name.
Yes, exactly.
Who's Zaylobi?
Exactly. That's not how you say it. It's Zaylob?
Zaylube? And then finally someone says it right, Zaylob, and all the lights flicker. Because demons, I think, hate when you say
that's
their
right.
name.
That is important. You're right, John. So let's keep that bit of mythology going, or perhaps reality. So yeah, it's all the lights shake, and you hear the couch, or make a weird
At the same time,
couch
you hear
noise.
the PlayStation startup sound.
Right. Whatever the fuck. Yeah. Anyway, so all right, good. And so I think as they're looking through and Natalie trying to use the book to explain what's going on, she like notices something on the Lazy Boy page, and it's like this light bulb goes off, and she sees the priest in the drawing holding the cross like not right side up but upside down, and then like this kind of ghost demon looking character that maybe at first glance looks like it was leaving the Lazy Boy, looks like it's actually going into the Lazy Boy. Natalie's like, oh my god, it was right in front of me the entire time. Like, this was an exorcism. These priests were putting this demon into furniture. They were using the furniture to trap these things. They knew about it the entire time. And maybe Drew or Rodney's like, how deep does it go? And then Drew or Rodney is like, look, Zaylob.
That's what she said.
Right. Right. Perfect. And then he's like, damn it, focus, boys. And then they look and realize if you unscramble Zaylob, it, of course, John, spells Lazy Boy. It's deeper than deep. It's beyond the church. Lazy Boy themselves was stood up to be basically vehicles for demons. So comfortable.
I'm a demon exporter importer. Right. I'm a furniture company.
Right. We used to make rugs. That didn't work out. So now we're making Lazy Boys. Would you like a sandwich?
So now they've got this newfound knowledge that the priest actually sent him to slaughter.
Yes, exactly right.
Because this is part of...
To keep this cover up going.
Exactly.
Exactly. This demon needs to eat these people because she got too close.
I know what you're thinking. How did we come up with the idea that the church tried to cover something up? We're just that freaking creative.
It's a wild movie. I love it. Yeah, but so now this is like Natalie's like dark night of the soul, where she's like, Father Abernale failed me. I failed my friends. The T-bomb didn't work. He sent me here basically to make sure I died. Knew I had a weapon that wouldn't do what needed to happen. It was already too late. The couch was too powerful. Like she's lost. She's like, what's gonna happen? To us, to my friends, are we just gonna sit here and get eaten by this couch and force fed chicken until we die? And it seems like all hope is lost. And I think this is a great point to have, I wouldn't say a knight in shining armor, but maybe a page in hand-me-down homemade clothes.
Birkenstocks?
Right. Stumble upon the situation thanks to our friend Steve, who zipped around in his Segway and made it back to Larry the Love Sack's place. I think the hero in this film, not Natalie, not Rod or Drew, but perhaps the most unlikely hero we've had yet, John.
Larry Lovesack to save the day with the help of his Batman,
Right.
Batman and Robin co-partner.
That's right.
Whatever.
It's a little action.
Foreign kid Steve.
Little Segway Steve peels in. And so Natalie maybe hears like the front door open of their apartment and smells the smell of patchouli and marijuana smoke. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, is Larry here? And maybe Rodney and Drew are like, my God, we gotta tell him, we gotta stop Larry. He's gonna get eaten by this couch. And Natalie's like, wait. She's kind of you see her thinking and kind of piecing it together as she always is. Wait. This is it. And the guys are like, what do you mean this is it? And Natalie says something like,
Can you say it in a girl's voice?
Oh, we tried. No, we tried. Well, I don't know why she's from the South. Good gracious. We tried to find water with fire. Fire with water. She's Scarlett O'Hara. Oh, but it's clear there's only one hope now is to fight fire with fire. Natalie, I didn't know you
Gone
were.
with the wind.
There she goes. Gone with the couch. And so Natalie's plan is we have to out-lazy this couch, and Larry's the best of the best, or the worst of the worst, the laziest of the laziest.
Larry has nothing to give the couch.
That's right, exactly. And so I think that's the plan that Natalie sees is hopefully happening. And thank goodness for Larry. Larry is as predictable as they come. He was sent there by Steve to help because Steve was like, our old friends, they need your help. Larry got there and totally forgot why he was there. Hasn't left his room in a long time.
I'm thinking Matthew McConaughey mixed
right,
with
exactly.
Tommy Chong.
Right. The sun's a lot. Tommy. Okay. The sun. I'll write up. The sun's a lot brighter than I remember. Guys, you here? Hello? Anybody home?
Steve told me to come by. I can't remember why quite.
But you got a lot of Boston Market rounds. I'm going to help myself and take a quick nap on this couch right here. And that's when Rodney and Drew are like, my God, it's going to happen. And Natalie's like, wait, hold. Hold the line. Wait.
Hold the line, my sweet boys.
And my sweet biscuits, my sweet boys. And so that's what Larry does. Larry does what Larry does best. He lays down on this couch in someone else's apartment, immediately falls asleep. And I think the couch at this point, right, like it heard the door open and like a boa constrictor or a python like laid in wait of like, all right, perfect, another one. I'm gonna get this in like a Venus flytrap right now. But Larry lays down. Yeah, it's trying to charge a battery in a dead plug. I mean, Larry lays down on this couch. He's got nothing to give. And the couch, I think, is trying to do its couchy demon magic things and suck any ambition Larry may have out of his body to power it more. Nope, it can't. You can't do it. It's oil and water. Larry is just an impossible subject for this couch. And I think that's what does the couch in, John. I think this is Larry just laying down and sleeping on the couch, putting his outside Birkenstocks away and his inside moccasins on, which is the most effort he'll do all day to do anything.
Changing to my couch slippers,
his couch shoes, and laying back and passing out.
I think
this demon has nothing it could do to fight it.
Zalob, forever shall we not say his name?
Yeah.
The Devourer of Ambition met his match with Larry, Love Sack, and Larry proves the value of fully committing to something.
Yes,
like
exactly
a sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah, if you're the best at something, great. Doesn't even matter if you're the thing you're the best at is looked down upon by society. What do they know? Like we said in the beginning, the one-legged man across town. He's your Huckleberry.
And everybody wanted to be Larry at some point, but
sure,
most of you couldn't do it.
I was going to say, exactly. Larry was just brave enough to keep being Larry. And it turns out that's exactly what his friends needed today when Zalob thought he had won and was able to consume 3 more hopeless souls. Larry came in, took a nap, and changed the world. And I'm almost imagining like Larry's snoring, passing out, couch is wiggling, trying to grab it. Larry's just snoring through it all. And the couch like almost in like defiant anger, just kind of and a puff of smoke shoots out from under it and fills the room and then gathers itself as like creepy smoke version Zalob and just like rips through the apartment and shoots out the window like, into whatever. But it's gone. He's done it. He's exorcised this couch.
Exorcised the demon.
That's right. Not exorcised, because he doesn't do any of that. He's just exorcising.
I did one time exorcise a demon.
By accident, right? That's the only kind of exercising I do. If I can nap through it, I can do it. That's Larry the Love Sack's motto. I'll see you or I'll be asleep. And so Larry saves them. Just the power of a nap, which is quite powerful if timed out correctly.
Sure.
But that's always the battle. And I think that's what saves it. It's kind of how the movie ends. And we can have fun with, like, as we always do here, kind of putting a bow on it. And it's just as simple as like Rodney and Drew and Natalie. We do a quick, time cut to the next week or whatever it is. And they're in class and having fun and go back to the apartment and the couch is gone and 3 chairs are in its place or something.
3 folding metal chairs.
Sworn off comfort and couches for a little bit, but they're also happy to never have Boston Market again. They OD'd on that and are heading out for some salads together. Maybe we see Zalob continue its quest, which I kind of like this of it left. Okay, where does it go? It's kind of unprotected out in the world. It's looking for another piece of furniture to inhabit. Then maybe it comes across, some high school senior and a lot of pressure from his parents and AP tests coming up and you got the honor society next week and your efforts not showing through, sonny boy, and just slams his
like
door
a
to his
Natalie
room.
Jr.
Right, exactly. And it's just kind of crying on his his couch next to his desk chair, and Zalob sees that and fires into it, only to haunt this kid who's also kind of at that breaking point of, I can't work any harder. I'm about to just give it up. Just give up. And if only I could just relax a little bit. And Zalob hears that like the dinner bell. Swoops right in to feed on this kid's ambition and maybe consume him. Something like that. We can have Zalob be out there, maybe in your lazy boy right now, just telling you to stay for one more episode of Severance. Just don't put away that bag of chips. Get to the bottom. Get to the bottom of that bag.
I was gonna say Zalob has inhabited my pants. Any pants I'm wearing.
That's right.
I can relate with that. I like the idea that he goes on to find another couch because
Zalob's out there. You got to be careful, folks.
Yeah, maybe you haven't had your couch accidentally DoorDash you, but I think we've all realized like, I could sneak in one more episode and then all of a sudden it's time to start work.
That's right. The danger of comfort and convenience, which we'll talk about next week. But I think that's it, John. I think that's couch time. They got out just in time, or Larry showed up just in time to save the day. At least for Natalie and Rodney and Drew. We'll see if Couch Time 2 happens and this poor kid just gets eaten in his room. That's a story for another day. So, all right, this was fun. We'll recap it next episode, obviously, so come back for that. But I think let's take a minute, now that we've done it, now that Couch Time exists, John, what we have a lot of fun doing, what you have a lot of fun doing is creating these posters for us for all these amazing movies that we get to fall out of our heads. What should the tagline of this one be? Every great poster, great movie has some sweet tagline. What did we just create? What's the one that'll make people go, I want to see that? Or, well, this sounds like a funny movie. I've got a few ideas.
Oh, yeah, okay. Like right below the trailer or on the poster.
Yes, exactly. And it could be, there's simple ones, stuff like, like relax while you can, but that's almost too generic.
That's very, you're right, generic, but I can see that.
Yep.
Like I'll probably see that on a movie trailer in the next week.
You probably
relax
will.
while you can.
Right.
Couch time. The couch time. On this couch, you're the TV dinner.
Yes, exactly. I love that. Or something like, these couch potatoes are truly cooked.
It gives me like Pineapple Express vibes.
Right. Yeah. That's a good one.
Put your feet up. You're gonna die here. No. Sometimes you miss.
Right.
No dogs on the couch.
That's a good one too.
Thanks, Mom. You're doing so good, honey.
So good, son. Oh man. All right. So those are some good ideas. Well, it'll come to me as it always does in the middle of the night when no one can see it or hear about it, but that's okay. Maybe one of those is the winner. You tell us. You have a better tagline. Tag us in it. Drop a comment on some posts about this movie in our Instagram. And then, yeah, next week, come back. Another Fast Five. You guys are voting again. You've been doing a great job so far. We'll recap this movie, drink some more beer, find some more beers and movies, and do what we do best, which is have fun and goof off. So until then, John.
Peace.
Punch. Give me your Boston markets.
Thanksgiving edition.